In New South Wales, the government has outlined a plan to attract and retain quality teachers. High-performing teachers could be paid top dollar, up to $180,000 a year, while their peers get no pay rise at all. The plan is bound to upset the New South Wales Teachers Federation, who are in a long-running battle with the government over staff shortages, conditions and pay. Let me bring in the New South Wales Education Minister, Sarah Mitchell. Thanks for joining us, Sarah. This is a discussion that's been had right around the country in various state governments. Lots of governments have talked about trying to do this, to keep your best teachers, not just in the classroom, but in the system, stop them going off and doing something else. Why is your plan going to work where so much talk about this sort of thing has come to not much around the country?
Well, Chris, I think it'll work because we're not afraid to be bold here. And as you said in your opening remarks, we are looking at the opportunity to pay classroom teachers at a really high salary. And we've certainly listened to the workforce. You know, a lot of teachers will tell me that the beginning pay is good, but they reach a bit of a ceiling where the only way that they can get more salary is to move out of the classroom into management roles or within departments or bureaucracies. We want to find a way to keep them in the classroom where we recognise that excellence in teaching practice. We've got Professor John Hattie, who is internationally renowned when it comes to education policy, doing this work for us. We've got an issues paper out today and more to come on this later this year and looking to implement it next year. And we're dead keen and very serious about making this happen in our public schools in New South Wales. Yeah,
look, it's a fantastic idea. I think it's a head nod from most parents and taxpayers around the country. You've got to reward good teachers and keep them in the classroom. How much resistance do you expect, though, from the unions who, you know, like to see these schemes where everybody moves together and no one gets left behind?
Oh, look, we've already had resistance from the union bosses today, and unfortunately, it just sort of shows my ever-increasing frustration. I find it quite astounding that a union would stop teachers from getting paid more. And the thing that I find most frustrating, of course, is that we are offering teacher pay increases for every teacher. We're going through our award negotiation now. Everyone who teaches in New South Wales schools will be eligible for those increases under the award. No teacher will go backwards under this, but what we want to do is find a way to reward talent instead of tenure. And at the moment, our current system does the reverse. So it's about modernising the profession. It's about, as I said, rewarding that teaching excellence that we see in the classroom and keeping our best teachers where we want them and where they want to be. Because I can guarantee that a lot of times when people enter the teaching profession, it's because they want to make a difference in children's lives. They want to be in the classroom, and to find themselves getting promoted out of it in order to get career progression seems counterintuitive, and that's what we're trying to fix.
I'll keep coming back to this issue because I know in all the states we are looking at drastic teacher shortages that might get worse in coming years, and all state governments are going to need to deal with it. But I want to ask you about another big issue that's been focused in New South Wales, but it's happening right around the country as well, of course. And these are these protesters who disrupt traffic, who disrupt public transport, businesses going about their daily lives. Typically, they're climate extremist activists. And New South Wales has new laws in, $20,000 fines, 2 years jail. You must pull your hair out then when a magistrate just says that the charges can be dropped yesterday against Marley Cooper in Lismore.
Yeah, look, I did see that, and I've sort of learned, I guess, in the years of being a politician, Chris, that it's a bit risky when you comment on the judicial system. But I'd say, just as a resident of New South Wales, and, you know, obviously I live in a regional area, but I'm in the city and in Sydney particularly a lot for work. And, you know, you hit the nail on the head when you talked about the disruption. People cannot get to appointments. People cannot get to school. I've had colleagues caught in traffic and not be able to get about their daily work because of these protests. And it is frustrating. We want to have really strong laws in New South Wales, which is why we've put them in place, and we want it to be a deterrent, because people can be passionate about whatever they want, but don't disrupt others and don't break the law in doing so. And that's just my view as an ordinary citizen, not just as a minister.
But surely that's why this needs to be challenged, because you could even have mandatory sentences in this case and it wouldn't matter, because the magistrate has dismissed the charges on the basis of mental health. In other words, your climate hysteria is justification for you exerting climate hysteria on the rest of the population.
Well, like I said before, Chris, you know, I think that the Attorney-General and others that are focused on those issues will no doubt have more expertise than me in the particular legalities of that. But like I said, just speaking as a resident, it's incredibly frustrating, and I think a lot of people probably would have found what happened yesterday fairly frustrating as well.
I'm certain they did. Thanks for joining us, Sarah.